Tonight, we're picking up where we left off last week, where we're talking about God's redemptive plan that was seen through the history of Israel. And it was specifically showed last week in verses 1 through 29 of chapter 9. It specifically showed the doctrine of election. However, this week, we're going to be concentrating a little bit more on man's response to the gospel and man's responsibility in that plan of redemption. Last week, I said the focus was the doctrine of election. And it focused more on God's sovereignty and God's choice in salvation as we looked at Paul's anguish and the distress that he felt in his soul over his countrymen's denial of Christ. But yet, that denial ultimately worked within the plan of salvation. Even though the Jews denied the Messiah during his incarnation, it wasn't as though the word of God had failed, Paul said. It wasn't as though his promise had failed. No, God's election was sure. His saving promises still came to fruition. And yet tonight we will turn our attention to the human side of the redemptive plan.